Hello and welcome to an overview of the assembly elections of Kerala 2021. The voters of Kerala have given a decisive and clear mandate to the Left Democratic Front led by the CPM, which is now going to come back for a second consecutive term, which is a rarity in Kerala because it's something that's happening after a gap of 44 years. The voters have never voted back an incumbent alliance. This is the first time it's happening in 44 years, so which is significant. For the CPM, it's been a great electoral victory because it's been able to improve its tally individually from 63 in 2016 to 68 in 2021. And the front itself has done a pretty good show by improving its tally from 91 in 2016 to 99, just one short of a century in 2021. Most Congress and United Democratic Front leaders looked confident even yesterday morning, the day of counting, despite pre and post poll surveys giving a clear edge to the Left Democratic Front. They thought they could make the cut, and the predictions could go wrong given the electoral history of Kerala. But they could not do well, and their tally fell from 47 in 2016 to 41 in 2021. Facing a pretty bad situation nationally, Congress badly wanted a victory in Kerala, and probably that's why it launched an all-out campaign against the left front government, and the campaign was led by none other than Rahul Gandhi himself, who along with Priyanka Vadra toured extensively across the length and breadth of Kerala, launching an onslaught against the government, but the campaign failed to cut any ice with the voters, it seems, in hindsight. As for the BJP, which had one sitting MLA in the outgoing Kerala Assembly, it has drawn a blank. Its campaign was equally high-pitched, and the state president of the BJP contested from two different constituencies, one in South Central Kerala and one in Northern Kerala, Konni and Manjeshwaram, and tasted defeat in both of them. Launching his campaign from Konni, the Prime Minister invoked Lord Ayyappa's name, reminding people about the electorate about the 2018 Supreme Court verdict, which allowed entry into the temple to women of all age groups, which created a whole lot of ruckus in Kerala, and a controversy erupted pertaining to that. The matter is now in the Supreme Court, but regardless of that, the BJP went ahead with the campaign, and a similar campaign was also launched by Congress. The left front wanted to focus on the achievements of the government over the last 5 years and highlighting the series of crises, how the government was able to manage them, and that was what they wanted to highlight in the run-up to the election. But all of a sudden, after a gold smuggling case was unearthed in Trivandrum, a case which involved the UAE consulate in Thiruvananthapuram, a number of government agencies were set after them. Subsequently, accusations were traded by both parties, and the CPIM went to the extent of saying that the central agencies were playing politics on behalf of the central government, and which was also being backed by the Congress and the UDF unwittingly. That was the allegation against them, the charge against them. Closer to the election, the BJP roped in a number of prominent personalities, including noted engineer E. Sridharan, which attracted a lot of national attention to the elections in Kerala. And Sridharan was fielded from Palakkad, where he was able to put up a tough fight. This was also expected to boost the image of the party in Kerala. And Sridharan himself believed so, which he made public in as many words. But then that did not turn out to be a boon for the party, either in Palakkad or in the rest of Kerala. Having won the local body polls in December 2020 comfortably, the left, specifically the CPIM, wanted to effect a generational change. So it put a condition that anybody who has had two consecutive terms in the assembly would not contest, and fielded a mix of the youth and veterans. Most of them got elected with a thumping majority, including Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, Health Minister K.K. Shailaja, and Power Minister M. Mani. But there was this controversy pertaining to deep sea fishing in the days closer to the poles, which cost Mersikutiyamma dearly. And despite a clear left wave sweeping the state, she lost from Kundara. There were two striking results. One, the defeat of Joske Mani in his home constituency, Pala, which had been held by his father, the late K. M. Mani, former finance minister of Kerala for half a century. Joske Mani heads a faction of Kerala Congress, a Catholic party that's powerful in central Kerala, which switched sides from the UDF to the LDF ahead of the local body polls last year. Joske Mani's defeat comes at a time when the party was able to perform reasonably well in the polls. Had he been elected, he would have secured a cabinet berth. The party lost its strongholds, Pala and Kaduthurthi. Now, coming to the second, the victory of KK Rama in Vadakara, a constituency in northern Kerala, it had never elected a non-leftist leader before. Ms. Rama, a leader of a leftist party called RMP, fought the election against the left front because it was rather a personal fight for her, because some CPM leaders were accused and later found guilty of the murder of her husband, RMP leader TP Chandrasekharan. So it was a personal fight. Ms. Rama received unconditional support from the UDF. And the victory is significant because while Kerala gave a leg up to the policies of the left, its welfareism, they took strong exception to the politics of violence and murder. Coming to what is on the cards in the days to come, the CPM, although it's got a thumping majority, has already accused the BJP of trading votes to Congress in several constituencies across Kerala. Now, the Congress is in a shambles, and already there is a clamor for leadership change in Kerala and nationally. Many feel that a compromise on secular values proved the party's undoing. The BJP's performance, in a way, substantiates the allegation of vote trade leveled by the CPM and Mr. Vijayan in particular, as its vote share plummeted across constituencies, most glaringly in Kundara in south, Tripunithura in central Kerala, Pala in south central Kerala, and in many constituencies in Ernakulam. Heads are expected to roll in the party in its Kerala unit, where factionalism has come to be the order of the day. The CM has submitted his resignation to the governor today, and talks are in progress within the CPM and the left to form the new cabinet, which is expected to feature several new and young faces. Thank you so much.